guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. I wanted to just talk quickly about a game I just beat, Mighty No. 9. I'm not really going to get into the backstory with all of the hype and the drama and all the bad things that happened in terms of the game getting kick-started and all that. But if you're watching this, you may already know about all that. If not, and you want to look deeper into the game's history, you should probably check out a different video. But to put it lightly, people were very upset when this game got released. So recently GameStop had this game for $6.99 used. They just dropped the price to that, and they moved all of the new stock to used, I believe. So everything that was new was now $6.99. Use your Pro card, get another 10% off. It was $6 and change. So for a brand new game that I wanted to try out, I figured, what the hell. It does come with a lot of stuff, or a decent amount of stuff. You get the game, you get a tiny art book, you get a little DLC code that comes with an extra level called Vermillion Destroyer, which is very hard and I couldn't beat. You get this retro Beck, which is a retro looking version of the main character, except you die in one hit. And you get this poster, which was pretty cool. If you like Mega Man and anime and stuff, I think most people would probably think the poster's pretty nice. You know, any little stuff they include with the game is cool. So it did come with a lot of stuff, which was good for $6.99 or $6 and change after the rewards card. However, the Wii U version is known to have technical problems. They patched it at one point. It still has technical problems. So if you like Mega Man, you most likely know what Mighty No. 9 is. It's supposed to be like the spiritual successor to Mega Man. It really misses that mark to a degree. It's definitely reminiscent of it, but I want to just talk about some of the things I liked and some of the things I disliked about the game. So as I said, it comes with the Vermillion Destroyer stage. You can play as Retro Beck. You can play as that character Ray, who's this red character on the back, and do the alternate missions, or I guess the same missions that Beck did, but as Ray. All the extra crap inside, etc. So that's great. The graphics looked not so good. They looked kind of cartoony and chunky. They didn't look like really pretty or cel shaded or anything like that. The way like Wind Waker looks really good HD, this looks kind of just chunky and blockish, but not cool. Just bad looking, sort of. The sound effects are okay. All that was alright. There is some repetition when it comes to, there's one mission where you use this girl on the cover. Her name is Call. Beck and Call. And with Call, the game plays very differently. And that threw me off at first. But she yells every time she does something. So when you push the button to do a shield, she goes, barrier, barrier, barrier. It's very grating. Or when you jump, I think she says jump over and over and over again. So that was kind of grating in terms of the sound department. Also, during the cutscenes, it was sort of these like chunky, blocky graphics. They looked like they had a weird white outline on them. I don't know if that was intentional. It almost looked like they cut it out of a magazine and like pasted it on the screen, and it wasn't meant to be there. It just looked kind of weird. Graphics were okay. The gameplay is really fun, and it does remind me of Mega Man. However, and this is a big however, the difficulty in the game is absurd. By the time I got to the last boss, and I had a really good, you know, grasp of things, I was beating some of the bosses pretty easily, it was one of the most frustrating games I've ever played in my life. I beat the last boss finally last night. Took me probably about 30 tries. Then I ended up going to check out that DLC level, Vermillion Destroyer. I didn't even bother. I got a couple minutes in, got my ass handed to me, and I said, you know what, I'm done. I beat the game. I don't give a shit about the DLC. I just don't care. And I stopped. I may go online in the future with a friend and just mess around online with him, because he's been asking me to do that. But otherwise, it's not like something I'd really go back to, I would say. The other thing is when you play whatever first level you choose, the bosses all have a pattern. the last boss as well, but all the bosses have a pattern. So you figure out the pattern, you beat them, you get their ability, just like Mega Man, and then you use that ability on a different boss, and then you can beat that boss much easier with that ability you've earned. Whatever boss you choose first, though, is usually kind of difficult. Most people would choose Pyro, who's like the flame boss. I could never beat him, ever, on the first run. So I had to go beat someone else and then go in a different order than most people would go in. I think the first guy I beat, his name was Shade or Counter Shade, and he was a sniper, and I was able to pick him off after a while, but I was literally getting down to like no health and still beating them at the last moment. So it was almost like luck on occasion. The bad thing about this as well, which is the worst part of the game by far for me, besides the difficulty, is there's frame rate drops. Really, really bad frame rate drops. I'm not talking a frame or two. I'm talking like stopping, the character glitches off into another area. Just really, really poor. Like they did not optimize this game. This game should run on a phone. It doesn't look good at all. So for them to have it on the Wii U, I think it's the Xbox One, the 360, the PS3, the PS4, the PC from what I'm reading, is the best version in terms of stability. But I was having frame rate drops so bad, and the game is a twitch game that you have to be able to hit buttons quick and move around fast. I was having frame drops so bad that I'd be in one point, the frame would drop when I moved, I wouldn't know where I was, and I'd fall down a hole and die. It was horrible. Certain levels are worse than others, but the game is a twitch game where you have to push buttons fast. So that completely pissed me off, took me out of like wanting to play the game. I did make a couple notes on it. Let's see here. Oh, the only other thing I wanted to mention was I ended up skipping most of the story. I found the story to be kind of boring. You're a robot saving the world from these other robots that went haywire, and there's some like bad boss behind it. It was just generic crap. So after like the first couple minutes of story, I just skipped it. So I have no clue what the story is about, but it didn't really seem to grasp me. I probably should have watched more of the story and the little cutscenes, because when you need help sometimes at the final boss, if you keep restarting, there's a little guy that looks like a trash compactor kind of thing. He throws out health and like power-ups and stuff to you. One of the things he throws out, I had no idea what it was. What it is it lets you heal yourself in the menu. So had I known that, I think it's called Axel or something. Had I known that, some of the bosses would have probably been easier, because I had gotten some bosses down to like almost no life and then died. You can go into the menu, use this item, restore your health, and now you're back at full health. You definitely need it for the last boss, so I was very glad I found out about that. I think I was watching a walkthrough online about how to beat the last boss, and I saw this guy get his health back, and I was like, how did he do that in the middle of the fight? And I realized what he did, and there you go. The thing that bothers me the most about this game is, it's not a bad game. It's fun. I enjoyed myself, as difficult and as frustrating and absurdly annoying as it was. The frame drops kill it, the graphics are kind of bad, the difficulty is horrendously bad. I can't really recommend it. If you're a Mega Man fan, you may get something out of it, but not much because of all the problems it has. If I would have to give this game a score, I would give it about a 5. It's not a horrible game, it's not a good game, it's very run-of-the-mill because of the issues it has. If they ironed out the issues with the frame rates, if they made the graphics a little better, things like that, then I would probably give it a 6 or a 7, but I can't. It's nice they had a little bit of stuff that they added into this. They put in, like I said, the map, the poster, and the DLC, and the extra character, and the little art book. That's nice they did that, because this game, when it kickstarted for a lot of money that other small studios would have died for, like the Shovel Knight guys, who made a game leaps and bounds better than this for a fraction of what they got in funding. So just keep that in mind when you play this game. But for $6, it's worth it. If I would have paid 20 or 30 or 40 or kickstarted it, I would have been frigging livid. Thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.